What is up, everyone? It is Mr. Dean. We are back with another episode of the special hour. We are all the way up to number 23 now, which is crazy. I know I say that every episode, but it just gets crazier and crazier that we are still doing this. Donovan, can you believe we started all the way back in like June?
Hi there, it's Donovan. When you said 23, I have to say that. It's hardwired into my brain.
Now I'm laughing because I didn't even like introduce you. And you just said, like, I was just saying, like, isn't it crazy?
Give me the mic. Okay. When you said 23,
this is my co-host DonovanDud. What's up?
Hi. When you said 23, I looked at my recording. It was at 23 seconds, and 23 is a very lucky number.
Oh, wait. Why is 23 a lucky number?
Good question. I just always hear that, and also Michael Jordan and LeBron James are 23.
Oh, okay. Wait. So which one of them is the GOAT, though?
That's Michael Jordan. No stop. We are from Chicago. Screw LeBron James.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a lovely way to start off the podcast.
Pissing off all the basketball fans, if there's any watching a gaming podcast.
I know very little about basketball, so I have no comment on this, but I do feel like from what I hear, most people agree that Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Of course, because people actually have brains, believe it or not, in 2025.
Really? Wait, do they?
Okay. It's hard to believe. I mean, you know basketball, drag and drive.
That's true.
You're a connoisseur.
That's true. I know Mario Hoops 3-on-3. I know, yeah. We are in fact a gaming podcast, not a basketball podcast. So Donovan, who are you? What do you do for the people that may be new to the podcast and don't know who they're listening to right now?
Welcome back to episode 1 of the special hour. Yeah. I am DonovanDud. I make YouTube videos mostly on Nintendo content. I didn't mean
it. I wasn't trying to do a hard reboot of the podcast. I'm just saying, just in case of.
Okay. Well, I make gaming videos on YouTube primarily talking about Nintendo, reviewing retrospectives, their games, going into deep dives of how their games are made, and just honestly just yapping about my opinions, thoughts, loves, and hatreds for some of their stuff, and not just Nintendo, but maybe some Transformers movies and stuff. But that's more of the side thing.
It has been a while, I feel like, since we've heard a Transformers reference. So
I'm glad that we're getting that going again. This is the reboot episode now.
This is episode 1 of the guys. This is our brand new podcast that we're starting. I'm joking.
So what do you do, Mr. Dean?
Donovan, thank you so much for asking.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Yeah. My name is MrDean44. I make very similar content to what Donovan does. I think I do more rankings and very concise reviews of games. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check me out on YouTube. I like how normally we plug our stuff at the end of the show, but this time we're just getting right into shamelessly plugging our content.
So what did you do today or this week?
So this past week, I had Thanksgiving. Don't you love celebrating the most wholesome day of the year with no sort of intrinsic dark history behind it? It's because all Thanksgiving is about is just being thankful for your loved ones, right? There's no There's nothing deeper about it.
I mean, I watched what is that? It's called Freebirds, where they went back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. So, according to that movie, everything was so peaceful and wholesome.
Yeah, because it's not at all about pillaging people's land and doing anything like that.
Nah. Of course not. No. The turkey.
It's turkey. It
smells great.
No. The Thanksgiving food was really good. Actually, I enjoyed it a lot. We had brisket this year. We had brisket and turkey.
That sounds awesome.
It was awesome. It was fantastic.
I'm salivating what's cool right is,
so I actually celebrated 2. So I had one with my family, and then one my friend group at my org. We had Friendsgiving. It was about 6 days before the actual Thanksgiving day, and I want to shout him out. I'm not going to say his real name, but the person who was hosting it at his house, he cooked the turkey, and it was the most moist and just succulent. Donovan, I'm not trying to be weird. I'm actually not. The turkey was so moist and so so succulent and
all right. I get it. You're getting closer and closer to the microphone.
No, it actually was good. It was a really good turkey. So shout out I highly doubt he's listening to this, but if you are, you know who you are. So yeah, my past week has mainly been Thanksgiving stuff, eating a lot of leftovers the past few days. What about you, Donovan? What have you been up to this past week?
Yeah, I've been a fat piece of shit.
Okay.
Probably gained like 2,000 pounds. I'm probably made like a new type of diabetes, type 5, like just jumping 3 and 4.
Yeah, I skipped right over
exactly.
3 and 4.
We played some games with friends and family. I watched many terrible movies with friends.
What was your favorite one that you watched?
So I already talked about Freebirds. That was pretty awful. Except for that funny meme where they go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. But we also watched a movie called Moonfall. It's a disaster movie, and it really was a disaster. it was so awful. One of the main characters, I wanted them to die so much. Like, it was a Redditor basically, and he did die. He did die. I felt literally nothing. I was laughing and clapping when he died. So the fact that when a turkey in the Freebirds movie died, the fact that I felt a slight bit more sadness for a turkey than that Redditor in the Moonfall movie is saying a lot. It was bad. I've been on a streak of bad movies. I just love. I think my friends and I we're like masochists. What else? We watched Stranger Things 5. That's a one.
Okay. So don't spoil that. So that's another thing. This past week, me and my parents, because I've already watched the first 4 seasons of Stranger Things, but it had been so long since I had watched the show that I kind of forgot a lot of what happened.
Yeah. It's a little crazy that it's been so long.
Yeah, but that's a whole other discussion. Is like how long it is between each season, but. The Duffer Brothers, who directed Stranger Things, they listed like 4 episodes that they recommended everyone rewatch before watching a new season if you forgot. So me and my parents have been rewatching those, and I'm waiting for my sister to get home for us to start season 5. So once we do watch season 5, then we can talk about that on the podcast, but I've not seen it yet.
To tie it all back to video games, there was a little NES Easter egg in one of the episodes. Oh my god, video games, whoa.
Yes, so we are now 8 minutes into the podcast and not a single thing about video games has been said, so we should probably get into video games. Okay, so what have you been playing this past week?
When this episode airs, we'll dive more into this, but when it airs, not currently, but I will have been playing Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Other than that, it's been Kirby Air Riders, and that's kind of it. So I think we'll talk about those 2 games later, but you have a lot to talk about.
Dude, this past week I was on break from school for a few days, and my school workload is kind of winded down a little bit. So I've had a lot of time to just like grind recording footage for videos, and that's what I have been doing the past like week, aside from the other stuff I've talked about. For instance, I have re-recorded all of Wii Sports because for some reason, I deleted my footage. I forgot why I did that, but I had to get new footage of Wii Sports. And my thoughts on the game are, for the most part, consistent with what I've talked about before on my channel, aside from a few of the sports, specifically baseball. But as a whole, of course, Wii Sports is a pivotal tech demo for the Wii, and it cemented its place as one of the most iconic games in gaming history, not just because of the game itself, but also what it represented going into the Wii era. This was Nintendo fully committing to the casual audience, and it's the reason why it's become so installed, and that word's a terrible choice of words. It's become so installed in, culture. If you could look at
Ingrained.
Alvin and the Chipmunks, for example. This is my favorite example of the Wii being in a movie. Alvin and the Chipmunks, the second movie, I forgot what it's called. Toby is playing Wii Sports bowling, and he throws the Wii remote at the screen and breaks it because that's like what everyone was doing that didn't know how to wear a wrist strap on their Wii remote. But in terms of what my thoughts have changed on, baseball sucks. That's the main thing. Is before I always was like kind of mixed on baseball. I never thought that it was like a good game in Wii Sports. But like after playing through the game again, like, dude, baseball sucks. I'm sorry. Like it's the batting is
right.
fun. No, like are you? Wait, do you agree?
I'm partially kidding. In terms of actual Wii Sports, I baseball's.
Oh no, not No. In real life, I love baseball. I'm talking about Wii Sports, like not the sport itself, but the incorporation of it into Wii Sports is very subpar, mainly because of the way pitching was implemented. Because you have so little control over what happens, specifically whenever you're pitching to the computers. Because like all you can do is throw either a fastball, a curveball, a screwball, or a changeup, and then you can change like what direction it goes in, left or right. But you're not able to control exactly where the pitch goes. And for the most part, if you're throwing it to a computer, they're going to hit home runs or base hits, or maybe they'll strike out. It's honestly just like RNG, to be honest, or at least that's the way it feels.
And you better pray that the people on the field catch the ball.
Yes,
because it is like a coin toss.
Half the time they'll just drop the ball, and it's like so stupid. It's actually so stupid. I think if you're playing baseball with a friend in real life, then it's fine. Like I still think pitching is kind of annoying because hitting is so easy in that game once you understand the timing. But I don't know. I think like the training modes of Wii Sports are really fun. Well, most of them. Like specifically the bowling one where you're knocking down as many pins as possible, and then the baseball one where you're trying to hit home runs. Those two are really fun. I love those two mini games.
Thoughts on boxing?
And Wii Sports are in real life.
Wii Sports
boxing. It controls really poorly. Because like there's a lot of times where the motion controls, and this kind of goes for Wii Sports in general, because this was before Wii Motion Plus got introduced with Wii Sports Resort. But with boxing, I feel like the controls are especially aggravating because a lot of the time whenever I'm trying to like weave left and right, it doesn't register my movements. There's times whenever I try to throw a punch and it doesn't properly do it. I don't know if I'm just flailing my arms incorrectly, but for some reason, a lot of the time the movement can feel a little bit frustrating. But it's at least more fun than baseball because the pacing isn't terrible. Like, you know, at least you're in the action the whole time, and the matches are relatively short. So I don't mind boxing.
I feel like for boxing, like the right hand or whatever hand you're using the Wii remote in, yeah, it works perfectly fine for me.
The nunchuck.
But the nunchuck, yes. It is a 50-50 whether it wants to cooperate. And that's sometimes frustrating.
The other one I've kind of changed my mind on is bowling, because I always was kind of on team like bowling is the best sport in Wii Sports. And like bowling is fun, but it's so monotonous. Because there's no real like dynamic gameplay loop. It's every single time you have your lane and you line up with the same angle and you just bowl a strike over and over again. It's once again,
is that not bowling?
Satisfying. Well, in real life, it's way more difficult than it is in Wii Sports. Like in Wii Sports, it's still fun. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy doing it. I don't think it's like as amazing necessarily as I did before. And before anyone says anything in the comments, I fully am aware Wii Sports is a tech demo. It is literally a free tech demo that was packaged in with a Wii. I am not like bitching about the game itself. I still love Wii Sports. I held hours and hours of nostalgia playing the game growing up. It means the world to me. And it still is absolutely a fun game. And I'm not taking anything away from it. And for what it is, for simply just being a test run of what the Wii is capable of, it achieved its mission. We know that because it sold how many millions of copies. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Wii Sports. I'll probably make another video on my channel. I kind of want to make a video ranking all the training modes because there's 15 of them, and I actually have a lot of thoughts on them individually. I don't want to spend the whole podcast yapping about that though. The other game I finished, I talked about it a little bit last week, is The 1,000-Year Door. I finally beat the remake. My finalized thoughts after really sitting with my thoughts on the game is I was kind of tripping a little bit before. I think 2 episodes ago, I was like, okay, maybe I like the original Paper Mario on Nintendo 64 more because I felt like the pacing was a little bit better. It felt like the interludes between each chapter were not as long as they are in The 1,000-Year Door. You can't skip text in the remake of The 1,000-Year Door, which is still really weird. But after actually thinking about it, I think that even then, what they did with those interludes between the chapters more than makes up for it. Especially, like, I don't want to spoil for anyone that hasn't played it, but the end of the game, it all does come together, especially with, like, the story with Peach and Tech, or TEC, I don't know how to pronounce the character's name. but it's basically like a robot that is in the Exnot Fortress that is keeping Peach captive. I don't want to say exactly what goes on, but it's a really fun dialogue to stay behind the whole game. The chapters are so creative, especially compared to the original game. The themes for like Bogley Woods, you got Twilight Town, the little like mystery on the train. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. The characters and the writing in the game is spectacular. There's so many small examples of that being the case. Like Flavio is one of my favorite characters in the game. All the partners are so fun and memorable. I love how there's that like spirit that gives you the abilities in the overworld, but it does so by trying to curse you. So like it thinks that it's cursing you, but in reality, it's literally aiding you on your journey. There's so many little things like that. Thousand Year Door, I don't think it's a perfect game, but it easily is better than the original game. I don't really know what I was thinking before. And then finally, I want to get to Kirby Air Riders, but very quickly, I started recording my second playthrough of Astrobot because I also lost my footage of my original run of the game.
Again?
Donovan, I've a lot of my footage I've deleted because I was like, man, I need to save memory. But then I ended up getting another hard drive. So now I have plenty of storage. So now I'm having to like re-record a lot of these games. But Astrobot, currently I'm on the third world. So I've already played through the whole game. In terms of my replay, I love it just as much as I did before. I honestly forgot about how satisfying the game is to control, how every single level introduces its own little like mechanic. Well, a lot of the mechanics are, I think, repeated throughout the game, but every level incorporates them in such unique ways. So much of Astrobot feels like Super Mario Galaxy 3 in the best way possible. I know it's kind of a meme at this point on the podcast whenever I like shout out these studios as if they give a single fuck about our podcast. But shout out Team Asobi. You guys killed it. Astrobot's awesome. So yeah. Anyway, that was a lot of yapping, so I apologize. Hopefully no one got bored of that.
You're playing Astrobot again instead of playing a new game like Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch?
Donovan, I will get to it. I promise. I will.
All right.
The reason specifically I'm focused on right now playing Wii and PlayStation games is because I'm back at my, not at my apartment, I'm back at my place with my family for the next like 4 weeks, and normally I don't have my Wii U and my PlayStation with me whenever I'm at my apartment, so this is just kind of like my pocket of time where I'm able to get footage of those games.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. So, yes. You get a pass.
So I will play Xenoblade, okay? I promise.
Not beating the allegations.
No, Donovan, it will happen. It will. All right, let's go and talk about Kirby Air Riders, though, because I've been really excited to talk about this on the podcast. I need to catch my breath, so you go ahead and kick it off. What are your like general thoughts or whatever you want to bring up?
So Kirby Air Riders absolutely clowns on like all the other racing games this year. This game is jam-packed with so much fun content, a lot of replayability, and a lot of love and passion can very easily be seen through this game. Like, huge props to Sora and Sakurai for making just a really incredibly well put together passion project. This is Sakurai's passion project. Like, right now he's probably locked up in a basement working on Super Smash Bros. 6. So this is probably his one game where he can just air out some like frustration from Smash and just work on something that he's very passionate about. He's come back to Kirby after so long. I think it's probably been like 20 years since he last directed a Kirby game. And for those that don't know, Sakurai did create Kirby, so it's like he's coming back to his child. And we see all the love and care put into this game. Like, for example, let's start with Road Trip. Road Trip is the single player option for Kirby Air Riders. This sort of takes some sort of notes from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's World of Light, where you still have the core gameplay of Kirby Air Riders. It's not like Subspace Emissary, where it throws you onto a 2D map that's honestly sometimes a little bit forgettable. In Air Riders, Road Trip is a bunch of different challenges from the 3 modes of Kirby Air Riders, and similar in the vein of World of Light, all these challenges have different objectives and different stat buffs to the enemies or to the players. just to create much more variety. I think it's a very good use to merge all three of the modes into this nice and simple it's a nice and simple road trip. Nice and simple and cohesive way of streamlining this single player adventure for a racing game. At some points, it is a very linear experience, but from what I've played, I've only gotten the normal ending. It's a nice 3 hours of gameplay, probably, if I just beat it in one sitting. But there is a New Game Plus where you basically go through it again, but it's not completely linear because there are alternate routes. I say alternate, but it's really just a change of scenery and probably different bosses and different events. But I think with Road Trip, because it's so short and sweet, there's always that feeling of infinite replayability, even though you probably will be getting the same memories, which we'll get into in a bit. But because every playthrough, especially with New Game Plus, will be different, the replayability is in my opinion, so much better than World of Light or even Subspace Emissary. World of Light would probably take years off of my life. I actually have not beaten World of Light because of how long and repetitive it is. So with this shorter, more streamlined experience of Road Trip, I think it was a pretty fun single player experience. And I've only gotten the normal ending, so I'm gonna go play through it again to get the true ending.
For me, my thoughts on Road Trip are very similar. I haven't played through it multiple times. I've only done one run through, and like you said, there's so many random forks in the road where you're able to get a kind of a different experience each time. From what I've gathered, it doesn't seem like there's a huge difference between each of the different like zones. I think it's mainly just like the aesthetic or like what course you're on. But I mean, it's still cool. Like it's still like, you know, you're forging your own path each time. The thing I really like about Road Trip is the fact that you start out with all your stats at 0. And it really feels like you are just slowly progressing over time. I love it whenever games do that. It's just like there's something so satisfying about slowly, you know, going faster and your flight getting better, your weight getting better, all your stats just slowly increasing over time. The only very minor nitpick I have with Road Trip is a lot of the missions that you take on are and I saw this in a review of I forgot which YouTuber it was that brought this up, but I really agreed with their point. But basically they brought up that a lot of the missions that you complete is like a one-on-one combat challenge where either you'll be fighting one specific boss or maybe you have to take out very specific enemies on a race. And the thing with the controls of Kirby Air Riders is it's kind of finicky whenever it comes to targeting one specific person like that. Or maybe I'm just not good at the game yet because I'm definitely still not good at it. But it at times felt a little bit frustrating in those specific circumstances. Other than that, though, I thought Road Trip was such a fun mode. It's the perfect thing to do as soon as you pick up the game to learn the basics, learn the mechanics of the game, how the rules work, all that kind of stuff. Especially because it's kind of like it's like a melting pot of the different modes. You have Top Ride, you have Air Ride, you have City Trial, you have all that stuff kind of baked into, you know, this one experience. So
yeah. On your point about targeting enemies, I do think sometimes it's a little bit difficult, especially when you're super, you maxed out your like top speed and you can't turn properly. Exactly. I guess sometimes it'll feel difficult, but I feel like in my case, in most scenarios, I can target the enemy. And the great thing about making the controls so simplistic, or maybe this could be a detriment to some viewpoints, but a lot of the actions in Kirby Air Riders is pretty automated. There's copy abilities like Sword, or I'm forgetting some of them, but with Sword, all you need to do is just get close to your opponent and it'll just auto attack for you. There's other copy abilities like Fire or Needle, where all you'd have to do is just press one button and like for Needle, press one button, your needles grow out and you're basically a giant hitbox. With Fire or Cutter, all you really need to do is press the special button, and your projectiles fire, but they lock onto the opponent. They're like homing attacks. And even in the case of Spark, I mean, you just charge your projectile, and then once you fire it, I think for all the firing modes, or I think 2 of the firing modes don't lock on, but the other 2, they do lock onto the opponent. So it makes things a lot more simpler and makes it more automated, so the player can more focus on driving and just hitting the B button. But in some other cases, because the controls are very simplistic, I find myself, like in Mario Kart, I'm turning a corner, I'm usually moving the control stick back and forth. Now, when you move the control stick back and forth in Kirby Air Riders, you initiate a spin attack. Sometimes I do that unintentionally because I'm moving the stick back and forth to turn, but I just so happen to just spin out and I'm hitting a wall instead of turning a tight corner. So I could see that being a little bit finicky. Have you experienced that?
I was literally going to bring up the spin attack because, like, is there a way you're able to remap that to like a button? Because
I'm pretty sure you can. There's a lot of customizability in this game, which is also really great.
Right. Yeah, because it's a Sakurai game, so it makes sense that he would put all that customization in it. I was just wondering that because one of my other gripes about Air Riders is the fact that to do a spin attack, you have to shake the analog stick back and forth, both because it can contribute to drift over time, but also it's just annoying to do in a race because it takes longer to do than it would be to just press a button, and it kind of makes you swerve back and forth a little bit. So I don't know. That's an odd choice. I know he was really vehement about making it a 2-button layout, but like, I don't know. I do wish that you didn't have to shake the analog stick like that. If you are able to remap it though, then that fixes that issue and it's fine. But yeah, like everything you just said, I agree with. I think overall the core gameplay loop is so much fun.
Have you beaten Road Trip?
I've beaten it. Yes.
Do you want to get into a little bit of spoilers? As much as you could spoil a Kirby racing game.
Yeah, I mean there's yeah, I mean if you are wanting to avoid spoilers, cover your ears now.
We'll put up a timestamp of when we're done talking about this.
I'll be. Can I be completely transparent with you though, Donovan?
You're not gonna do that.
No. I'll be transparent with you. I was not really paying attention to the story that much.
I'm just gonna talk about how.
Go. You can talk about it if you want. I was kind of playing the game.
Off the rocker. The story is, what were they smoking when making this Kirby racing game about some guy named Zora, a machine whose will is like trapped forever. He can't move. He's suffering for all eternity. And then he makes a wish to to Nova, and Nova has like a twisted version of this wish. So like Nova's kind of an asshole. And like there's this. The CGI cutscenes are amazing. They look so good. They're just like the World of Light cutscenes or the Smash Brothers Ultimate reveals. They look so good. It looks a little bit uncannily good for like a Kirby game, but it's so good nonetheless. But then there's this one cutscene where all these little robots are tearing into Zora. Like, what game am I playing? It's a little off the rocker, as I was saying. Not what I expected from a happy-go-lucky game.
What I'm hearing is that I need to replay and actually like pay attention.
A little bit. The cutscenes, they look beautiful, and some of them are like, what am I smoking?
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was high-key playing Road Trip while listening to a ton of like old Motown music. So I wasn't locked in on like the actual story.
On the final mission when you're fighting Gigantus, once you beat Gigantus, which also really fun boss, like these bosses in a racing game, this feels awesome to play with. It feels so impactful when you're just even hitting remotely anything or throwing a bomb, targeting your cutter at its weak points. It feels great, but we can probably get more into that in the miscellaneous section. In the final like set piece of the game, or at least for the normal ending, you race against Zora, and that is like the most intense one-on-one race I have ever played in a video game. I don't know why it felt so so awesome. The music was so great. The scenery, although it is a drab wasteland, it never felt so. It's never felt so cinematic. I lost to Zora multiple times. He is a cheating son of a bitch. The rubber banding is insane. And so when I lost, I got the bad ending where everyone fucking dies. There's just a ginormous explosion that happens. So basically, like, a neutron star, like, Zora flies into Gigantus and it just explodes. It's like an atom bomb, and it just cuts to a black screen, and it's like, you lose. So I'm like, oh my god, I feel so bad. I just killed everyone.
If I would have known that there was going to be a genocide in the game, I would have paid attention to the story more. They were telling us in the cutscenes, Gigantus will destroy the entire planet, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So I killed everyone. What kind of Thanos shit?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's a Kirby game. Oh my god. So then I actually finally got the real ending, and I'm like,
I was playing the game. I was just assuming that it's probably just like Kirby has to save Dreamland from the Air Rider Corporation or some shit like that.
We're saving the world. We're just
okay. I'm gonna.
That's the normal ending. I would like to see the true ending, which I have not gotten. Yeah, I mean, the cutscenes they're pretty cool. They're not like Subspace Emissary level, but I mean, it's a Kirby racing game. This is more than what I expected. It's not like some Shakespearean plot, but it has a lot of shock factor, and I like that.
It would have been really funny if Kirby Air Riders was like this like deep political statement, and it was like profound.
They address the problems of global warming, so they ban all the machines. But yeah, that's Road Trip. So let's talk about City Trial.
Yeah, now. I was about to say, I was like, have your opinions on City Trial changed at all since we talked about it with the demo?
I think I'm loving it even more. I'm discovering a lot of cool events. I don't know if the Dragoon or the Hydra or Gigantus was in the demo, but I'm rediscovering those legendary machines, and it's the gameplay loop is just really fun. I've played Smash Bros. Ultimate with friends. I could play that game for hours, and I feel like that's the same with Kirby Air Riders, where there's so much randomness, and every single match will vary with what happens. Every match will be different, and I think that contributes to its replayability for me. I can play that game to death. What about you?
So, I still enjoy it, but I do have some nitpicks. There's two main things specifically that I don't like about City Trial after spending more time with it. One is, by the end of the 5 minutes, a lot of the time you are going so fast that you literally have no control of what you're doing. And I get it. Like, at first, it was like, whenever we were talking about it during the demo, I was like, dude, this shit's so funny. Because you're just like, everyone's just going 500 miles an hour. Like, you're just picking stuff up at random, and it's so chaotic, which is true. But I think once it gets to the point where I no longer feel like I have agency in what I'm going for, what direction I'm going in, or what's happening, then it goes from being fun to just uncontrolled chaos, where it kind of feels like I'm just like watching a bunch of brain rotty stuff happen on screen until the timer runs out. Which, like, there is a fun element to that whenever you're playing with friends, but I won't lie and say I think that it's like good design necessarily. Once again, I still like the mode. I'm not saying I don't like a City Trial. I have fun with it. That's just one little nitpick I have. The other one, I'm not a huge fan of the way the like showdown or whatever it's called at the end, whenever you're choosing between the 4 different arenas to play in. The only reason why, and I get the reason why they had to have it this way, because everyone has different attributes that their machine is proficient in by the end of City Trial. So one person might have really good flight, but maybe lackluster health. So they probably don't want to focus on a PvP oriented arena and vice versa. But the thing with it is it makes it so a lot of the time you're not playing the exact same game as the other friends in your lobby, which is a little bit disappointing, because I think that it would be really fun to have this, a similar shared experience in the showdown where, you're directly interacting with each other more. But other than that, City Trial is a blast, especially whenever the random events happen in the arena. Sometimes like a random race will happen where you have to, race. Other times some type of like random, like, I'm trying to think of a specific, like sometimes like a boss will pop up or something. It is fun breaking the boxes, like trying to, kind of navigate what power-ups you're going for. Like I said, mainly at the beginning, because towards the end, at least for me, like the reaction time gets so brief that you're not even really able to choose like, all right, I need to specifically go for flight. You're not really able to do that by the end. But I also do like how the arena is big enough to where there's like hidden areas and stuff. Like you're actually kind of able to explore it. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that City Trial will get boring or stale over time, but I don't think that it's a perfect mode or anything. It's kind of like a flawed amount of like chaos. You know what I mean? But it's still fun at the end of the day.
I think on your point of not being able to play the stadium events with your friends sometimes because you're voting, I do see that as a little bit of a, it's not really a problem. It's a little bit of a nitpick. It's a little annoying sometimes, but you can't just change the rules and have a set. You can't have it just a set stadium event.
Yeah, I agree, because it kind of had to, like, it's an unfortunate reality of the mode, because the alternative would be there's one mini game, but then someone is just going to guaranteed win it because they have the best attribute for that game. So I don't really know what they could have done differently for the mode.
The beauty of Kirby Air Riders is all the customizability. So you could just change the rules so everyone knows what the event will be coming up. So that's a setting that you can change.
Okay, but which that's fair. So I guess that is a solution to it. The only thing I still would have an issue is going back to the first problem I had, where you're going so fast at a certain point that it's like you may know what the arena at the end is gonna be. It's like, let's just say I know it's gonna be the one where I forgot exactly what it's called, but you're trying to see who can jump the furthest and like glide the furthest without hitting the ground. So you should be going for flight and not going for weight. But whenever you already know that that's gonna be the thing at the end, and you start collecting flight because you're going so fast, or you start collecting weight, because you're going so fast and you can't avoid it, then I could see that being frustrating.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes by.
I do find myself, there's a lot of situations where I want to target a specific stat, but I'm just destroying all the boxes and just getting what I can. There are points where I am able to target like flight or offense, but most of the time I'm like, all right, let's just break this box, pray to God I get like flight, or pray to God I get like more top speed, and see what happens there. Also the stadium event where you just fly, you just hold the control stick down, I think that's the lamest stadium event. Some of them are better than others, I'll say. When it comes to like going so fast, it's uncontrollable. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, it might just be me. But whenever I'm going super fast, I am still able to find control. I mean, I just gotta slow down and like hold down the special button, get ready to boost, and then fly myself into like an opponent or to a box. But I could see. I mean, I was playing Kirby Air Riders with my cousin and my brother and some friends at school, and yeah, I could probably see them being like, this is so uncontrollable. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't control my machine. And yeah, that even though it's not a problem for me, it's definitely a problem for some other people.
You can just call me bad at the game, Doc.
And you have a skill issue. There is a little stat boost and also even an event where I think you're turbocharged, where it's on purpose, where everyone is super fast and uncontrollable. Those are points where I'm like, okay, I can't control it, but that I also see that as that's part of that's a quirk of the game, where it's throwing a power up or an event that you may or may not want. It all varies on what you're aiming for in City Trial. What are your thoughts on Skya, the main City Trial map?
I kind of touched on the map itself. I like the fact that there's different environments in the one map. You have the main city, you have an area where it's more like grassy, and then you have obviously the massive like volcano. There's random like sub areas as well that you're able to interact with. No, like, yeah, the map itself I like. I don't have any issues with the map. And once again, I'm not saying I don't like the mode. Like, I still really enjoy it. I like Kirby Air Riders is awesome. I know someone's going to listen to this and think that I'm like shitting all over the game. Like, I really do like it. I'm just bringing up nitpick. Nitpick's the keyword. Nitpick.
Yeah, I think Skya is really fun. I do think maybe I think I can play in Skya forever, but I do kind of wish that they did have one other map, maybe two other maps, just to mix it up. I feel like the more the better, and if you have more maps in the rotation, it'll create a much more varied experience, just like how stages are in Smash Ultimate. There's so many, it creates a different experience. Skya is big enough where a lot of my experiences and a lot of my playtime will be different every time I pick up City Trial. Though I do wish, I feel like you could have done one more map, but what we get, there's a lot to dive into, as you said. All in all, I think like killing people, vehicular manslaughter has never felt better in any game other than like Kirby Air Riders. I feel great killing people.
It's like Kirby, Burnout, and GTA all had like a child together with City Trial. You know what I mean? You're just able to viciously rip people off of their machine.
I find myself following people's star streams and just follow, like when you follow their like slipstream. I think it's called star stream in the game. When you follow that, you speed up. So you're catching up to your opponent, and then you can go hog wild on them from behind. That is really fun out of context. You could just absolutely destroy them, and it feels very so violent. Awesome. All your cop abilities, the impact feels great. It feels better than hitting like a spike in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It has the same effect. Like the background red effect, that's the same from Smash Ultimate, but it just feels so much more impactful in this game. When you get killed in Kirby Air Riders, like you probably feel like a bit of your soul get killed. It feels so intense. It feels better than anything. Like getting hit by a blue shell in Mario Kart is like child's play compared to getting hit or getting killed by anything in Kirby Air Riders. Getting chased by a steel ball or getting just flattened by the Dragoon or destroyed by the Hydra.
And in the words of Donovan in one of the previous episodes, I forgot which one, it's better than sex.
I was referring to Luigi's Mansion, but getting smashed in this game might be better than getting smashed. It's better than getting smashed in real life. Yeah. So City Trial feels great. Especially my favorites are like Big Battle or Dust Up Derby, where you're just killing everyone, and even the bosses. Bosses are great.
I think that Donovan, you're really sounding violent. I wonder, do video games cause violence?
Oh no. The Kirby game is causing my 6-year-old child to go berserk in recess.
Yeah, can you imagine if Kirby Air Riders was the catalyst for another conversation about video games causing violence? That'd be crazy. Before we do move on, I do also want to just quickly add, I love the amount of customization in the game in terms of like cosmetics.
Oh yeah,
like there's a whole so much you're able to do. Yeah, and it's not microtransaction. It's like just in-game currency.
Yeah, it's incredible with the amount of player expression people can just embed into their machines.
I saw someone made like a GameCube inspired machine for the one that's I forgot what
I've seen some interesting designs, but I've also seen some very cool designs. That's just the beauty of the internet. Very quickly, you want to go over just the regular air ride mode, the actual racing part.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we could talk about the core mode of the game itself, like 30 minutes into the topic. Yeah. So air ride, it's honestly probably my favorite mode in the game, and I wasn't expecting that to be the case. I just genuinely find it so fun. There's something about like how well designed the courses are, how much depth there is to the way like you're constantly having to follow the streams of other people, not in the way that I've just made that sound, but the star streams. All right, sorry. But you're going for copy abilities. Each of the machines have such unique ways that they control, and a lot of the courses have like strengths and weaknesses with various machines. I don't know. It's hard to describe what it is I like about the mode. It's just like I just find myself just kind of like listening to like a podcast or listening to music and just like racing in the background. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm. I think I really like the air ride mode, but at first I was like, I like it. It's fun. But City Trial is right there. But I was playing with you and a friend, that boy Sonic, and we realized, you know what? Let's just change the rules a little bit. So the default rules, there's like a set amount of laps for like a certain course. Sometimes it'll be 3, sometimes it'll be 1. We changed that setting to make it permanently 3 laps, and that just extends the playtime.
And we also made
it
so that you could get retired.
Yeah,
too.
and
that was an important element.
Yeah, we made the retirement option. We turned that on. It's basically F-Zero, where, you know, if you die, you stop. And that made it a lot more enjoyable and fun. That added a lot more stakes to getting hit, because initially when you get hit, it's like, oh no, I got hit, oh no. And when you hit someone, yeah, you get a little bit boost when you attack an enemy or your opponent, but now when you hit someone, it's personal. And when you get hit, it's like, oh god, I better lock in and actually play right, not bump into anyone unintentionally and actually defend myself or hurt other people that are smoking from their machines, and just get them off the course. That made Air Ride so much more fun and enjoyable for me, and I could see myself playing Air Ride a lot more than having the default settings on. And again, it's the customization in this game is absolutely nuts. I do wish maybe if a lot of people are going to play with the default settings, I wish kind of, you know, these were the default settings, having retirement on and 3 laps permanently for every course. It made my experience a lot more enjoyable. The actual courses themselves, yes, there are fewer courses than in like Mario Kart World. Some that may cut into how replayable the game is compared to something like Mario Kart World, but the actual courses themselves, there's a good amount of them, and the courses are really fun. And the visuals in the courses are also really cool. It's a joy to drive around. What else was I going to say? I feel like that's all my thoughts about the Air Ride mode itself.
I can't believe how long we've been talking about this.
Let's finish up Kirby Air Riders, because we got one more topic, but let's finish up with Top Ride.
Okay, Top Ride, and there's one more thing I wanted to say also. Top Ride, I honestly have very little to say. It's for anyone that doesn't know,
I don't care.
It's kind of like an RC car inspired mode, where it's a top-down view and the controls are very simplified and it's very short and to the point. I mean, it's for what it is, it's fun, I guess, but it's like, it's not, I'm never compelled to come back to it. So that's Top Ride. That's literally my thoughts. So the other thing I wanted to say is I wanted to address a comment that someone left on one of my videos, because you made me think about it whenever you were talking about Sakurai earlier, and someone, on one of my Kirby Air Riders videos, they commented, something along the lines of like, people only like this game because it's a Sakurai game. That's all anyone talks about. It's like, I only ever hear people in reviews going like, oh, like Sakurai's so creative. That was basically what their comment said. And it's like, how can you not talk about that in the context of the game, which is so clearly, it so clearly has the same like DNA. That's the word I was looking for. The same DNA as like Smash Bros, for example, baked within it. And that's not saying that the game is only on its merits whenever it's related to, you know, being discussed with Sakurai's name. It's just like, how can you not bring that up to some level? That's not all everyone's even talking about too. It's just like, I just thought that was kind of silly to like, ridicule the game because people bring it up with Sakurai's name. It's like, well,
okay, well eliminate Sakurai's name, you still get a really good fucking game.
It's a great game.
My friends don't even know who the hell Sakurai is. Like, I told my friend, like, this is the guy that made Kirby and Smash Bros. He's like, what's his name? Like, Sakurai. He's like, that's the coolest fucking name ever. Like, they don't even know who, like, 90% of people don't even know who this guy is. And if you eliminate Sakurai's name, and don't forget, this is a whole team of people, Sora. If you eliminate them, like, you still if you don't even know who they are, you still have a really great experience at its core. But then when you add on to their names, it's like, oh wait, these guys made it, huh? That gives us insight into why there are these design decisions.
Let's move on now, because I cannot believe how long that went on for.
We are at 51 minutes right now.
So before we get to questions, Donovan, I know you wanted to talk about Metroid Prime 4, so I'll let you go and take it away. I'll just I'll go sit in the corner. Let me know whenever I'm allowed to.
Your timeout. So Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, when this podcast releases, the game will have already released. At the time of filming, we are 2 days out, and I don't want to make this podcast feel very dated, so I'm going to talk about things that we already know is confirmed, and I want to talk about some of just our hopes for the game, and some concerns that could be brought up. So firstly, there's the Federation Troopers. Everyone is bitching about the Federation Troopers, and from what I know, from what I've seen and read and interpreted from Metroid Prime 4, is that they will be a good chunk of the game. Maybe not the whole thing, maybe like a fourth of the gameplay experience and the essence of what makes Beyond. I have some concerns, but they're not like, oh my gosh, Miles McKenzie, the nerdy talkative guy, is gonna ruin the game. No. I think that these troopers, again, I haven't played it, but I think and I hope that these troopers will have good story arcs and will eventually grow on me. We're all we're all in I'm acting like as if they're real people. We're all in this like traumatic experience. We're all stranded on this planet. I feel like eventually, through the power of teamwork or something, our feelings on them are gonna grow. They're gonna grow as characters as well. They're acting like Miles can't change. They're acting like Miles is gonna take down the whole experience because he's gonna keep yapping. And if you don't like the inclusion of one Federation Trooper, I have some bad news for you. There are 4 others. They're all going to have their own distinct personalities. I just think that we've been heading down this road for quite a long while. Some people will not agree with the direction that Metroid has been taking for the past 20 years, including the Federation more and more. I see this as a good thing, because this world is vast. It's a whole galaxy of people. Samus has always worked with Federation Troopers. We've seen Federation Troopers in other Metroid Prime games. The only difference is that they're dead, or taken over and possessed, or there's just side characters. In this game, they have a little bit more of a focus, and I think that's just a really cool mix-up for the Metroid formula. I think getting to know these people that Samus has been fighting alongside for like decades is really interesting, and the story potential there could be amazing. The story could also be a dick and balls. The character writing could be absolutely atrocious, and they could be just as obnoxious as Miles. But I want to get into one character in particular, Sylux, the supposed main villain of this game. Mr. Dean, do you know anything about Sylux?
Very little.
So Sylux is actually a character we've seen before. He is one of many villains in Metroid Prime Hunters on the Nintendo DS. All we know about him is that he hates the Federation and in turn hates Samus, but we never knew why. There was always this particular aura about him in Metroid Prime Hunters, because unlike all the other hunters, you do see him in other scenes like multiple times where he's flying his ship in a very foreboding way. No other hunter does this, but you see Sylux do that twice. So there was always this mystery around Sylux. He was always placed in importance above the other hunters in that game. So that was always intriguing. And then we see Sylux again at the cliffhanger of corruption in 2007. That is where the Prime trilogy ended, on a cliffhanger with Silex tailing Samus's ship. This Beyond is a game 18 years in the making. We are finally getting an answer to who this guy is and why he has generational beef. And we even saw him again, and yes, this game is canon. Metroid Prime Federation Force. He was in the cliffhanger of that game where he stole a Metroid. He hatched a Metroid egg and now has Metroids, and that is being seen at the beginning of Beyond, where we see him with Metroid. So this is a story so long in the making. It is so interesting. This guy has so much aura. So I'm very, very intrigued to where his story goes. We already know he has voice lines, so he's definitely voice acted, and there are cinematics that will play in full if you buy his amiibo. So I'm guessing in the game the cinematics are fragmented, like probably like memories in the wild era of Zelda. So there's going to be, this guy is a layered character, I'm assuming. I'm thinking that he's not just cut and dry evil. I think he's more of a gray character, and that's so interesting. Metroid Prime, the original games, the original trilogy had, yes, it had its enemies, but they were all very one-dimensional. It's like evil monster, go kill him, or Ridley, evil, go end his life for the billionth time. With Silex, I feel like they're doing something ambitious, and I'm hoping for the best. In terms of Soul Valley, we've seen from reviews, and I've heard from reviews, and this in turn also talks about the Viola bike. Soul Valley looks a little bit barren, and that concerns me. It's more so like a hub area to connect the 5 different areas of Viros. It's sort of like Hyrule Field in Ocarina of Time, from what I'm hearing a lot of reviewers connect it to. I just think that there could be there's a lot more to be desired in terms of the visuals as well as the things to do in Soul Valley. From what I hear, there are shrines and some boss fights in Soul Valley. That's actually really cool. I wish, and from what I hear, I wish there were more. It kind of pales in comparison to the shrines in Breath of the Wild, and in terms of the visuals, it really is just a barren wasteland. So I'm hoping Soul Valley shapes up to be a lot more underneath the surface. And in turn, the Viola bike, I'm hoping it plays more of a role than just being Epona. I hope it acts as like another upgrade to Samus's arsenal, not just a transport device. But we'll see if this is a big addition to the Metroidvania formula and in turn the Metroid Prime formula, or if it's just a tacked on feature. In terms of reviews, the reviews came out today, and I'm not sure how much they'll change in the coming week. It kind of gave me a little bit of a heart attack. Reviews aren't everything, but it's kind of sets a little bit of a mood in terms of all these, professional game reviewers, taking into account what this game brings to the table. Right now, it is currently sitting at an 81. Now, an 81 is not bad. That is a pretty damn good video game. But if you look at the other Metacritic scores of the trilogy, you got 97, 92, and then 90. 81 that's a steep drop. That gave me a little bit of a heart attack. Now, I've read some reviews. Some of them are a little bit strange. It's like you're comparing this game to so many other games, and from your wording, it sounds like you didn't even play the other games in the trilogy. Like one of them said, Corruption released in 2016. That is just false. I still am definitely going to buy the game. I have very high hopes, and some other reviews are saying, yeah, this is a worthy contender, a worthy step forward for the Metroid Prime series. It introduces a lot new. It is very ambitious. The brand new additions, however, like Soul Valley, Viola, and the Federation Troopers, are probably the factors that are tanking a lot of people's points of view of this game. it's split, I'll say. It's still positive. Just some reviewers are thinking these additions are not the best for the series. Some others are saying, these are good mix-ups for the formula of Metroid Prime, and they're a good step forward, while others say it takes a step back. I do admire Retro Studios' ambition in making something new. I have yet to play it again, but I'll see in the coming weeks how effective their brand new game design decisions were. This game has been in the making for so long, I probably should tamper my expectations, but how can I not be so excited for a game 8 years in the making, 6 years after we restarted, and for some people, 18 years ever since the last game. How can I not be excited? Some people are saying this game wasn't ambitious enough, but I am still very excited to jump into what looks to be one of the most immersive games I'll ever play, and one of the most exciting new adventures that I've really, really, really want to play. So I'm hoping for the best. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond if you've ever played it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I just have like nothing to add. But yeah, no. Like I also hope for the best. I'm excited to play it. I know you're gonna play it before I do. It'll probably be a few weeks before I get the game. So I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are once you do have your hands on it. But yeah, I hope it does live up to everyone's expectations. So. Are you ready to go and quickly dive into questions?
These are the greatest questions of all time.
Yeah, we have a fantastic arrangement. So first, and once again, before we get into them, as usual, if you have any questions for us, feel free to join our Discord server where we have a text channel where you are able to ask anything that you have that you want us to answer. It could be gaming related, not gaming related, whatever. But yeah, so first up is from Andrew, who asks, what did you have for lunch? Donovan, what did you have for lunch?
I had Panda Express. I'm culturally appropriating myself.
I mean, Panda Express is my favorite authentic Asian food.
A part of me just died for a second. Just kidding.
Authentic, yeah. Also, for mine, Raising Cane's. So that's what I had for lunch today. Rachel asks, do we have free will? so Donovan, do we have free will?
I'm controlling the things that are coming out of my mouth. I don't believe in fate mostly, unless it's against me. Then I'm like, oh my god, someone had to write this terrible script where I had a bad day.
Wait, so are you saying yes or no?
I'm saying I think I do have free will.
Okay, you just answer that so vaguely. I mean, it depends on, is there fate? Is there?
Do you think you're chained by the writers of fate? Do you think Kang the Conqueror or the TVA is up there writing our timeline?
No, I'm a big believer. I'm a big proponent personally of free will. I've only taken like one philosophy course in college, and I do watch a lot of philosophical discussions on YouTube. Mainly like the people I watch is like Alex O'Connor. I like Joe Bart philosophy for any Joe Bartolozzi fans out there. It's a fun watch. I like listening to people talk about philosophy. Personally, though, while I find the idea of either us being in a simulation or any other like roundabout ways that people come to the conclusion that we don't have free will, whether it be like the entire universe is already predetermined and we are all just basically acting in accordance to what the entire outline was, kind of like what Donovan is saying, or some people are like, oh yeah, no, a far distant civilization from millennia in the future created a simulation.
You're talking about Scientology.
I don't know if it's necessarily Scientology. I mean, I guess it could be a part of that. But what I'm saying is the theory that like far in the future, people, whenever the technology is strong enough, they run a simulation, kind of in a similar way to what we do with like GTA, with like video games where it's simulating Sims or characters in a game, and we are a part of that simulation and we wouldn't know. I personally don't believe that, but that is like an interesting theory to ponder about. Anyway, to answer Rachel's question, I do believe we have free will. There we go.
I will be taking a philosophy class next semester, so maybe next semester I'll be a changed man, and yes, we do not have free will.
I do think it would be fun to talk about what you learn in your course next semester, because I do love talking about philosophy, so I do think that'd be really fun. And then finally, Torin says, if you drop a bar of soap on the floor, does the floor get clean or does the soap get dirty? Another philosophical question.
Depends on the floor. For the most part, I do think it gets dirty. I subscribe to that theory. It gets dirty when it hits the
I subscribe to that theory.
Yeah.
I think the floor gets I think the soap gets dirty. For a second, I was about to say the floor gets dirty, and I was like, that makes no sense at all. I think the soap gets dirty, and the reason why is because, like, whenever you wash your hands, water is another key ingredient of the washing process. So if you're just dropping soap on the floor and nothing else is happening, the floor isn't getting clean from that. All that's happening is that the soap is picking up whatever debris or dirt or whatever was on the floor, and it's, getting onto the soap. Mm-hmm. Because whenever you pick the soap up off the floor, the soap is going to be dirty, but nothing has been done to actually clean the floor. So I think that the soap gets dirty. But why couldn't both happen, though? Would that be possible for, like, both the soap to get dirty and the floor to get clean?
Oh, you're making my brain think.
Yeah.
I think
the media doesn't want you to know that. What if both can happen?
Dude, it's the liberals that are preventing me from
Dude, can we go one
information.
episode? One episode. It's the woke lamestream media.
And with that, we are finished. In terms of finished, I mean the podcast. It's over.
Okay,
we're making a new political podcast.
No one thought that you meant anything else by finish until you said that. So thank you everyone for listening. This was a very bizarre episode. We opened with like 10 minutes of nothing gaming related, followed by 40 minutes of Kirby Air Riders. So I really hope that you enjoyed Kirby Air Riders. If not, you probably were bored. But yeah. So with Donovan,
with your free will, do be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button.
That's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna give you the opportunity to plug yourself.
Again? Oh my gosh, you're too kind. I'm DonovanDud on YouTube. You can also find me and primarily interact with me in my Discord server, the Nintendo Boys. I'm also on Twitter.
What do you mean by What do you mean by primarily interact with me? What does that mean?
Well,
like primarily.
I'm mostly active on my Discord. What are they
secondarily
doing? You can also contact me on like Twitter or Instagram. The likelihood of me responding is a little bit less.
So what about tertiarily? What would they do?
I don't even know what that word is.
Just continue. All right, you're on Twitter. You're on Twitter. Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, is that it? Okay. My name is MrDean44. I am, like I said before, a Nintendo YouTuber. I am on Twitter and Blue Sky. So depending on whether you're woke or not, will dictate which app you follow me on.
You're on X?
No, Donovan, I'm on Twitter. I know, Donovan, I know you're a part of that crowd. But, no, I'm joking. Okay.
See you at the rally.
Our outros are so unhinged now. Okay, so and then I have a Discord server called the Dean Kingdom, so you can primarily interact with me on there. Secondarily, I guess you could also see my announcements, and then tertiarily, you could maybe see the rules. I would say that's the order of the process there. Bye.